We're here at TMEA at the Make Music booth with Jack Wilds.
Hey everybody.
So when you're working, when you're composing, what's your process look like? Do you start with a melody? Do you start with a concept? Kind of what's your process?
Well, it sort of depends from piece to piece. Some pieces start with a really strong melodic idea, especially lyrical pieces will start that way. But then other pieces may start with sort of shorter motives and then develop over time. So sometimes it's a motive, sometimes it's a melody, sometimes it's a concept. Like with a piece that I wrote called The Spirit of Cashel, there was a picture that I saw of a light beam coming in through this crack in the roof of this medieval chapel, and that was like the thing that sort of started it. And so it was more of like a general sort of mood rather than, actual pitches and
Sure.
melody with that one. So it just sort of depends.
Have you ever gotten writer's block as a composer?
Yes, but I usually get through it by just writing anyway, even if it's really
Kind
bad.
of just force your way through?
Yeah, and I just kind of, if it's really bad, you can always just toss it out. Yeah.
So you're also an educator.
Yes.
You teach theory, you teach at a university. Does your experience as an educator kind of shape the way that you compose? Do you think that kind of gives you a different perspective on?
Yeah, it does. I actually used to teach band too.
Okay.
So I was a middle school and high school band director for 5 years and spent a lot of time working with kids and kind of learning what the instruments were able to do, what is easiest to do on the instruments, what makes the students sound good, kind of what students enjoy playing. And it also really reinforced for me the importance of the fact that the music that you select for your ensembles is your curriculum for that year. And so the music that our students are getting is really important. I also have an 11-year-old who just started learning horn in his local school band. And so it's sort of even more so brought home the fact that these students really need the best music that their teachers can get their hands on.
Yeah,
So
it's hard sometimes to find that piece that's educational but also really interesting. So you kind of balance that more.
Yeah, trying. Yeah.
So then on the theory side of things, there's the age-old discussion. How much music theory do you need to know to compose? Or is music theory important as a composer? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the kind of music that you're trying to write. In a lot of the courses that I teach, we often are focused on a very limited range of time, like Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn, and the type of theory that they used, or maybe some romantic composers, and getting into some more extended chromaticism. But I mean, you don't necessarily need a lot of that to write a band piece, or but you do need the concepts of voice leading that you learn in theory, or counterpoint concepts can be really helpful, especially like 16th century counterpoint concepts, believe it or not, can actually be really helpful. It's because you learn how to write like a basic canon or things like that.
So I heard music theory is completely unimportant. That's what we just heard from Jack. And
throw it out.
We're going to start an internet war.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you recently wrote some pieces for the Make Music publications.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about your contributions?
Sure. So one is a grade 1, and it's called The Jester's Gallop, and it's based on part of a Smetana opera. It's like a little interlude, and it doesn't necessarily take any of the actual material from that so much as like the mood and style and sort of the general kind of structure. So if you end up using the piece, then you can reference that portion of The Bartered Bride and play it for the students and kind of talk about the portions that made it into the music that they're playing and see what they can pick out too. A lot of times the kids can pick out a lot more of that than maybe we think they can. And then I also did a grade 2 called Leading Light that was just premiered in Chicago a couple months ago. That should be coming out too. So it's a fun opener with a nice little lyrical section at the beginning.
Awesome, exciting. And those will all be on Make Music Cloud as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have a subscription.
There you go.
Important question. Any advice for young composers, young musicians looking to break into the compositional field?
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't feel like you are unqualified to start. Just go ahead and start writing music for yourself or for your friends. Experiment, see what you like. There are a lot of free online resources now that are actually really good. So you don't necessarily need to be in composition lessons in order to write music. The main thing is you just have to write music and be willing to revise as you go and be trying to continually improve.
Awesome, great. Well, thanks for stopping by and taking some time to chat with us.
Of course, Daniel. Thanks, man. Yeah.